Another day, another nickel, actually another 1/10 of a penny, if that. But it's another day. It's another day that the Lord has made. And this topic, I really don't know. I'm just going to be sharing some things. One thing is relationship, I guess. Sometimes you can get into a relationship that you feel that you have to because maybe you went a little bit too far and you had a kid and then maybe another kid. I don't know, 1 or 2, 5, 10. It doesn't make any difference. So you feel like that you have to work things out. You have to stick together, even though you're always feuding and fighting or taking advantage of each other, and then the kids will grow up and they're out of the house, and then maybe you split up several times, and what kind of image are you giving those kids? And then when you see your kids going down the same path that you went down, you can't condemn the kids for it because you did the same thing without repenting and without letting them know that that was wrong. And not just telling them that it's wrong, but actually showing them that it's wrong. It's like gambling. Gambling is wrong. You throw so much money away, it's a waste. That, for an instant, all right, you go there and you think, yeah, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. And you don't. You're out that money that you could have used for something more productive. And inside, you lost it. You became a big loser at that time. And it doesn't matter if you spend $50 and you get $10 back, or you spend $50 and you give $50 back. What about all those people that are gambling and just losing their money? If we all came together and you want to gamble, okay, everybody send me $1 or $2 or $5, okay? I'm going to put all that money in a pool, but instead of, giving a chance for somebody to get all that money back, I'm going to give you a chance to get maybe 5% of it back, 10%. We'll go 10%. 10% of it back, okay? But the rest of it, I'm going to use for good. I'm going to use it for feeding the kids or helping the homeless or something, all right? That would be more productive than just going and giving your money to an organization that's just going to build bigger organizations for them to make more money and not help the community. And even if they did go out and spend, a little bit of money to help the community, I can guarantee you 90% of the profit is going in their pocket. And it's not really doing any good. That's something to think about. It's kind of like drinking. Oh yeah, I could drink in moderation. That is so foolish. Because drinking in moderation just tells me and other people that you think you're tough enough to where you can drink a little bit, cross the line that God would have us cross, knowing that you can fall back over on God's side. But what if it doesn't happen that way? What if something goes wrong? And maybe you can hold it. Maybe, you can drink a couple without getting so soused that you don't know what you're doing. But yet you're still tipsy enough to where you took a substance, put it in God's temple to make it topsy-turvy, to get that good feeling. For what? That's not true enjoyment. That's not true happiness. That's relying on a substance to make you feel good. And it really doesn't make you feel good. You just think it does. Because that's what Satan's been telling you all along. And you thought nobody could fool you. Yeah, right. Satan's more powerful than any of us. You fell for it. Why do you think think America's so messed up? It's because we're so gullible anymore. Because we're so relying on pills or a substance of some sort to make us feel better. We're not relying upon the one that created us. So, what's the deal here? Back to the a couple that probably split up several times, taking advantage of each other, or one taking advantage of the other, knowing that it's not going to go anywhere, but it's free sex. That's probably what it is. That's free sex. Yeah. Because it feels good. I don't know what I'm going to do without them. Or I need part of that income to help me out. I can't do it without him. Or her. Or can you? Now I'm not saying if you're married to divorce the person. But there's a lot of people living together that are feuding back and forth. They shouldn't be living together anyway. And dating just for a year or less? You think you're going to get to know somebody? It doesn't happen. Anybody can fool anybody for a year. It might be like pretty stressful toward the end of that year because you're still trying to hide things. But they can put a show on. They can do it. It's been done. So you got to be careful. You have to be careful. So what is a true relationship? I'll tell you something that helps a relationship. If one spouse does wrong, which you know both spouses are wrong, nobody's perfect, but one spouse does wrong, and that spouse asks for forgiveness to the other spouse. And if they have kids, that spouse asks for forgiveness of the kids and the spouse. But what if none of them, or half of them, accepts the apology? Because they want to take and hold that against their mom or their dad or their spouse. They don't want to forgive them because then they have to forget about it and move on in life. So everything's hunky-dory good. Unless he messes up or she messes up again. But you have nothing to hold on them from the past because you done forgave them. Wasn't that the way it should be though? Shouldn't you forgive that person that is asking for forgiveness? I mean, Jesus says to do the same thing, but maybe you don't believe in Jesus. Maybe you just know he was there and he just existed, but he's not coming back. But yes, he is. If you believe that he's not coming back because it's been so long, then maybe you need to open your eyes because Satan, there again, has fooled you. Now, with all the garbage going on in the United States right now, yes, that's where I'm from, the big USA. Just because we have poor leaders doesn't mean that the people that are here believe the same ways as the leaders do. And the leaders are controlling, or at least trying to control the majority of the people. I'm praying that it doesn't happen. But it may. And eventually, it may be the will of God. I don't know. But I do know why America was so strong and so huge and so willingness to help other people and why people wanted to come to America. But if we lose that because of the leaders that we have now, then why would they want to come to America anyway? It's not going to be any better than any other country out there that's having those type of problems. I'm not getting into politics right now. So we're going back to the couple. Excuse me. The couple that accepts forgiveness from each other can have a very strong and good relationship the way it should be. But if the couple does not accept their apology, then not only are they causing conflict with the one that wants the apology or the acceptance to be apologized for, the conflict of the one that did not apologize, thinking that they got something to hold over that person, is not really doing very well either, mentally. Because deep down inside, their inner being is telling them that they're wrong. They need to accept the apology in order to move on in life. And they wonder why there's so many struggles in their life, that we all have struggles, but it just doesn't seem to go away. And on the other hand, this person might be growing and growing very well spiritually, but because there's a stronghold with the spouse, it's hard for that person to move forward quickly because of the struggle back and forth, wanting a better relationship, wanting that relationship that God has intended for us, because that is what we all long for in here. But we go try to find it in gambling or in sex or in substance abuse. But it's never there. You never find it. Because that's not what it's longing for. That's what Satan is telling you it's longing for. But that's not what it's longing for. But if we don't go in the right direction to find the right information that we need, and to repent of our own sins, and to forgive those who are asking for forgiveness, and to ask for forgiveness of those that we need to be forgiven from, then what good is life? We are no better than the ones sneaking into America to kill us. We're no better unless you go the right direction and do the right things and stay away from gambling, drinking, any substance abuse, and seek the one who created you. And I know there's a lot of you that don't even believe that there's a God. But have you really searched for him? And not just go off the media, because, and not just the media, but there's TV evangelists out there that it's all hype. It's all for the money. It's all to take advantage of you using God. So you have to be careful with that as well. And there's ways of finding out who's the truth and who isn't. But you have to seek it to find it. And I'll guarantee you, the closer you get to finding it, the more Satan's going to work on you to keep you from finding it. Because he doesn't want you to find it. Because then he loses. I mean, he's lost the whole battle anyway, but how many people are going to join him in the fiery pit? How many people are going to lose their soul to him? Because your soul is going to live forever. It's eternal. Your body is going to die or rot, but your soul is going to be eternal. So what direction do you want to go? You don't just die and get put in the ground and that's it. You don't know anymore. It doesn't happen that way. some of you believe it. Some of you believe you're going to come back as a butterfly or something better than what you are now. That doesn't happen that way either. There's a lot of scientists out there trying to confuse the truth because they don't want you to find it. And that's because Satan has gotten a hold of them to do this to us. So if you don't search in the right places and you don't search for the truth, you'll never find it. So you'll believe what the media says. You'll believe what this article in the magazine says. You'll believe it because scientists say it's true. But that doesn't mean it's true. They could be, but they could not be. But you won't know the truth unless you go seek it yourself. And that's one thing that America has lost, is to be able to go and search the truth. I mean, we can do it, but we're so lazy that most people won't do it. And that's how we ended up with the problems that we have nowadays. All the mass shootings going on, when did the majority of the mass shootings start? A lot of people don't think about when it starts. They think about it's going on right now. When did the mass shootings start? I mean, the majority. There's always been mass shootings for years and years and years. But how many years back can you go, excuse me, to where there has been quite a few mass shootings? I mean, we're talking a lot. It's always something. And why are those going on? Not all of those are true. Some of those are copycats. Some of those are, I'm going to say, terrorist attacks, because that's what they are. And some of those were staged so they can say, we need to take your guns away from you. That way it's a safer America. No. They take our guns away from us. That means it's easier for them to come in like Hitler and take over. I would be a little careful with what's being said and how we take it. I think we need to do some research. And I also believe you need to get on your hands and knees and pray. You need to seek the Lord for guidance and for help. You need to find the truth. Don't just bring anybody into your life because you're lonely, because you don't know how to keep your legs together. That's not the way to be doing things. That's the way society says to do it, but that's not the way to do it. If you want true love, if you want a true relationship, then you need to find it in the right areas. We all make mistakes. We need to ask for forgiveness. And I have asked for forgiveness for my sins. And out of all the people that I asked for forgiveness, I wouldn't say there was a whole lot, but there's quite a few. Only one has accepted my apology. Only one. I've had him say, are you telling the truth? I had one just roll their eyes at me. It's like, I did what I could. I asked for repentance. I asked for forgiveness. I've got it from the Lord. I wanted it from the people. It hurts, but I know I did right because I did my part. And if they want to have the burden of not forgiving me when I ask for it, I can't change that. That's a burden they're going to have, and they're going to hold that against me. But is it going to hurt me? Yeah, it does a little bit, but it's going to hurt them more than me. because God saw that I asked for forgiveness, and they, in return, did not accept it. That's like Jesus Christ offering us salvation with Him. And we either accept it or we don't. Yes, I'm sure He hurts when you say no. But He's not going to force you. But if you said yes, it's a good feeling in here for all of us. Not just the one asking, but for the one who accepts. It's a great feeling. But it's all our choice. It's your choice. This is how I see it.